I'm Dr. Stephen Bloom. In addition to taking care of patients at the Bed Rehabilitation Hospital, I'm also a drummer. And so that gives me the opportunity to help out one of our patients, Andrew, who we met earlier, and help him recover from these injuries that he had in the bus accident. In this accident, he lost a number of functions in his body that allows him to drum, including his leg, damage to his arm, his spine. And what we're going to talk about today is a little bit of the anatomy, how those muscles and nerves function, and how we're going to adapt his drumming style to get him back on the road. He had an injury to the nerves of the neck and arm called the brachial plexus. These are the nerves that come out of the neck, travel down through the shoulder, and supply all of the muscle motion of the arm. So we're working with hand therapy to help train that hand so that he can hold the stick as it hits a cymbal or a drum. As we move up the arm, that also involves movement of the biceps or the triceps muscles, flexion and extension, that allows him to move the wrist and hand from cymbal to drum. And then finally, shoulder muscles that are affected by the nerve damage also, that allows him to move his arms in a very wide manner. And as you can see, as you hit the cymbals or hit the drums, there's got to be a lot of motion of that shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, and fingers. We're going to be doing a test called an EMG, or electromyogram, where I place electrodes on various areas of the muscles through the arm and stimulate the nerve to see how bad the damage is to that nerve, and then take tiny electrodes and put them right into the muscles of the arm. And that will help me give a prognosis of the recovery and where exactly the injuries are. We're going to use that information in the rehabilitation to help stimulate specific muscles that we can see are weak and that functionally are limiting for him to get back to drumming. And then we'll be able to get as maximal amount of nerve recovery and muscle function as we can based on some of the results of that test. Now, it's hard to predict exactly how much nerve recovery a patient will have with an injury like this. So it is possible that he may be left with some permanent paralysis of that arm. In that event, we're going to adapt the drum set for him to accommodate that. In other words, where he normally plays a cymbal at this height, we may have to lower that cymbal down. Where he normally hits a cymbal back to his right, we may have to bring that cymbal into the middle. Where he normally would come over here to hit this cymbal with the right hand, we may have to move that cymbal over here so he can hit it over here. It all depends a little bit on where those injuries are located and how his rehabilitation recovery helps. So in addition to modifying his drum style through rehabilitation, we actually may just end up modifying his drum set to accommodate his limitations. Andrew had fractures in his spine, and that limits the motion that he has in his spine. It always will. Drumming is very physical. You actually turn and rotate all of the time that you're playing. And there are times when you're going to flex your spine or maybe even extend depending on where you hit the cymbals. So one of the things that we're working on with the rehabilitation for Andrew is trying to get that flexibility or motion of the spine as best as we can. He will likely walk out onto the stage with the same artificial leg or prosthetic that he uses to walk around. When he sits down, he'll remove a connector in the knee, take off his walking leg, and then insert and connect that knee to a prosthetic that's custom fabricated that will be mounted right to the drum pedal, so that when he plays, he'll actually be connected right to the drum pedal. A normal drummer can use the kick pedal by just flexing his ankle, or he can lift the ankle up and give it a lot of power by pushing down with the toe. And obviously Andrew's not going to be able to do that. So we're going to look at different ways of fixing that foot to the pedal and using his residual limb or the top part of his leg to move the entire apparatus up and down to get that motion so that he'll be able to match the two legs together when he's playing. His drum company, SJC Drums out of Massachusetts, is providing him with a custom set of drums that are just made out of mesh pads that when you hit them, they don't really make a sound. So that way when he's playing, he won't be interrupting all the therapy around him. This is just another one of the wonderful adaptations that his music community and friends and record label have been helping him and helping us and get him back to drumming. We're going to get Andrew back to rocking because drummers got to drum.